Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second game of our two-game doubleheader today. Don't forget to join us again tomorrow for the third and final game of this series between the Union University Bulldogs and the Christian Brothers Buccaneers. The first game didn't end exactly how the Bulldogs were hoping it would. Christian Brothers got a 2-0 win, even though the Bulldogs doubled their hits. It was 2 runs, 3 hits, and 1 error for the Bucks, and 0 runs, goodness gracious, 0 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error for the Bulldogs in that game. In this one, Ryan Evans is getting the start for the Bulldogs. He's got a 16.88 ERA. He's 1-3 so far in the season. He is a half of the Evans brothers on this Bulldog pitching staff. He's appeared in 6 games. Started 3 of them. He's getting his 4th start today. He's thrown 16 innings, 36 hits, 36 runs, given up 14 walks, and has struck out 6 so far this season. Batting average against him is about .444. He's trying to keep that under control. Not too many changes here in the starting lineup for the Bucks from our first game. Batting first, we have the center fielder, Jarrett Folks. Batting second, the shortstop, Charlie Faro. Batting third, the first baseman, Ben Brocado. Batting cleanup, the left fielder, Clay Factal. Batting fifth, the right fielder, Dalton Pizer. Batting sixth, the catcher, Matthew McDaniel. Batting seventh, the third baseman, Seth Brown. Batting eighth, the second baseman, Tate Gentleman. And batting ninth, the designated hitter, Shaq Matthews. Count goes full here in the first at-bat to Jarrett Folks. Folks is batting .254, and he is going to make his way to first to get this game started for the Buccaneers. In the first game, Sleeper got the win for the Bucks. He pitched 5 2/3 innings before coming out after 93 pitches. He only gave up 3 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, and faced 22 batters. Cole came in to finish out the game for the Bucks. He went 3 1/3 innings as the runner goes. Here's the throw from the catcher. They're going to say bounced out of the glove, and that's going to be a stolen base there to start off this game for Folks. We expect this to be a little bit more of a high-scoring game compared to the first one. That was a very quick game. It was actually about 2 hours and 18 minutes was the time of the first game of this doubleheader. Very quick game, one of the fastest we've seen in the last few years. Evans spinning back, but nobody was there to help him. Interesting their decision by the middle infielders, Hardy and Netterville, to not be covering the bag as much as you would expect them to. And here's a delivery from Evans. It's upstairs. Poindexter got the loss in the first game. He threw 9 innings, 114 pitches, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, and 4 struck out batters. He faced 36. So that is the second game back-to-back that Poindexter has thrown an absolute gem, but actually gets the loss. So it's back-to-back complete games there for the Bulldog ace. It's tough to have 2 losses instead of 2 wins. But hopefully there's a lot more energy. We saw in the first game the most fans we've ever seen at the Fez this season. Always a great sign. Hopefully we are able to double that up in this one. Here's the defense for the Bulldogs in this game. Only 1 or 2 changes. Actually, there's only 2 changes. Out in left field, we have Swanson. Coming into the game for Trey Frierson is Colby Davis. Good to see him back out into this lineup. Chavy's out in right field, of course. That's going to be hit up the middle. Netterville is going to grab it, throw it back over to first, and they're going to have their first out of the inning as Folks makes his way over to third base. Great little 6-3 put out by Britt Netterville on that one. So that's going to introduce our infield there. Sisk over at third base, Netterville at shortstop, Hardy at second, Grant Ross continuing to get the start over at first. The question was if Barrett would come in, but Barrett kind of struggled a little bit at the plate in the first game where Ross had the 2 hits. They decided to keep Ross in. Over there at first base, we have Caden Cottrell, the backup catcher. We got to see him enter the game in the first of the 2 today. He came on in relief of Kenyon Pace at the plate. He's getting the DH nod today, and of course Ben Smith behind the plate, an expected move that we saw coming from a mile away. That one's going to get away from Evans. Very frustrated there as Ryan shakes his head in disappointment. Brocado's going to make his way over to first, setting up a possible first and third situation. Smith is going to look over and get the call from his coach. Let's see who's going to cover second in case Brocado tries to rip one off here. Just like this game getting started. Very difficult situation. First and third on already. Just a reminder that we will only be going 7 innings in this one because it is the second of a doubleheader. Of course, the Lady Bulldogs getting a 6-2 win earlier today. Right behind us, they are already in a tight match behind us. It's 0-0 over at the softball field. We're going to get to see Clay Factow, the left fielder, get his first plate appearance of the game. He's batting .277 on the season, 101 at-bats, 28 runs on 28 hits. Impressive career in the cleanup spot here and a great season. Earlier in the game today, he was hit by a pitch in his first 2 plate appearances in both the second and the third inning. He was left stranded both times, and he's going to take that one right to the left hip, which is going to be the 3rd time today that he is hit by a pitch, as well as Ryan Evans' second hit by pitch of this inning. Coach Casey's coming out. He's telling him what to do, giving a couple of signals, clearly frustrated that the bases are loaded so early in this game. Brocado makes his way over to second. Facto now at first. And the Ducks are on the pond for Pizer to step up to the plate. The lefty with the east moving wind today is always a dangerous combination. That one gets away from Evans, almost hits him again. Many of these buck hitters seeming to be hit by pitch magnets already in this game. Here's a delivery from Evans. It's going to be a called strike. Lots of commotion and movement here in the infield. We saw Hardy and Netterville running to back up every throw there, make sure that the guy there at second base and Brocado, is not trying to reach anywhere. Infield playing in. They know they got to go home with it. Ben Smith, good framing on that, unable to get the call from the umpire. Definitely had a couple of controversial calls in the first one. The one that was the biggest was Netterville's hit, where he was safe over, or actually Netterville's play at shortstop, as that's going to go off the bag out into center field. 1 run's going to score. Coming around third is Brocado. He's going to score, and 2 runs are on the board right at the beginning of this game. Very difficult start to this game. So Folks comes home, so does Brocado. 2 runs on the board. See Factow go to second, and Pizer has a single. A very different start to this game. So those 2 runs that just came in to score match the total runs scored by both teams in the first game. Only an hour ago we finished it. So Factow now at second after the hit by pitch. Pizer with the single. That's going to be in there for a called strike. But I was saying all the runners were, or excuse me, all the infielders ready to go home with any possible play at the plate. Evans from the stretch. Here's delivery. Down the middle, but no call. We were talking about that play by Netterville. Netterville made this unbelievable play towards the end of the game. It actually ended out the 9th inning. Netterville made this diving play over at shortstop, launched it across the diamond. It actually 2-hopped. Grant Ross, great catch, but it didn't look like it was going to be there in time. And the runner thought he was safe. Matthews was over there, the designated hitter, and the umpire called him out at first base, leading to the Bucks kind of losing their mind over there on that controversial call. 1 runner's going. Ben Smith's going to gun him. Here's the throw. It's going to slip away from Mitch Sisk. Pretty decent toss there, but it's going to set up once again another first and third situation, our second of the game so far. Factow now has a hit by pitch and a stolen base already in this quick game. Don't expect this one to go as fast as the first one did. That was kind of a Guinness World Record speed that we were moving at earlier in that one. Evans dialing it in from the stretch, delivery right down the middle, popped over the first base side. Ryan Evans, of course, his younger brother Lane, a part of the Bulldog pitching staff as well this year, both of them coming out of Dyer County High School. Ryan, the 5'10", 170-pound sophomore of New Bern, Tennessee, went to Dyer County High School, played 4 years of baseball, 3 years of football, as well as 4 years of baseball for the Memphis Tigers Baseball Club. He helped lead his team to the 2D Scout Games National Championship. Netterville's going to grab it. Oh, he's going to throw it back, not in time. 1 run is going to come home to score. But a great grab there by Netterville. I don't know if it was Ross that wasn't quite ready for that one, trying to get the double play to end the inning. But the throw actually ends up costing the Bulldogs a run. Netterville had a great grab on that one there at shortstop on the line drive for the second out of the inning, but Pizer remains the runner. So, like we were saying, Evans led his club team to a 2D Scout Games National Championship. He was the Best National Champion Award winner. He was a Perfect Game World Wood Bat National Championship All-Tournament and Perfect Game Battle of the Bluegrass All-Tournament nominee. He earned the Dyer County High School Coaches Award, Pitchers Award multiple times, and was named Academic All-District. The list goes on and on. He did a lot of different leadership things, such as Student Council in high school, the NHS Honor Society, and the Dyer County Youth Leadership Program, on and off the field. Definitely someone getting very involved. Last season, as a freshman, he posted a 6.84 ERA, had 1 win, 2 losses, appeared in 14 games, didn't start any of them, but this year they've transitioned him, of course, more to the mound as guys like McMillan graduated. He went 26 1/3 innings. He's looking to match that today. He's already got 24 on the season here. And his pace of game is very quick. You see him do the pickoff. You see him go home about less than a millisecond later as he continues to move things along very quickly. It's going to be in on the shoulders of Brown. Brown, the third baseman, he had some incredible defensive plays earlier in the game. So far in the season, the sophomore's hitting .212, has 66 at-bats, 14 hits, 10 runs, and he is going to make his way over to first. Another free base. We're going to have a quick meeting at the mound to see if we can get this control dialed in. I'll be right back with you in a few brief seconds. We're back. If you're just now joining us, we are still here in the top of the first inning at the beautiful Fesmeyer Field on the campus of Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. The first game ended with a victory for the Christian Brother University Bucks. They won 2-0, and they currently lead the second game of this doubleheader 3-0 as well. That one's going to be right down the middle, the pitch from Ryan Evans. Brown, of course, just made his way over to first base on the walk. Puts Pizer out second base after his single. And that's going to be hit towards the shortstop. Netterville's going to field it, throw it over to second base, and he's going to get the out at Hardy. The Bulldogs get out of it, but not before a couple of free bags are given away by a couple of hit by pitch and a few walks. Bulldogs find themselves down by 3. 3 runs, 1 hit, no errors. We will see you in the bottom of the first inning. Mr. Barnard say Brett Netterville is leading off the Bulldogs here once again. Here's their starting lineups. Very similar to the first game. We have Brett Netterville, the shortstop, leading off as he hits that one down the first base line. Batting second is the second baseman, Alec Hardy. Batting third is the right fielder, Carson Chavies. Batting fourth is the left fielder, Grayson Swanson. Batting fifth is the third baseman, Mitch Sisk. Batting sixth is the third baseman Mitch Sisk, first baseman Grant Ross. Batting seventh is the DH Caden Cottrell. Batting eighth, the center fielder Colby Davis, and Ben Smith, the catcher, bringing up the caboose. Starting pitcher here for the Bucks is freshman right-handed pitcher Jacob Sitton. He comes into this game 0-5 so far in the season. He's appeared in 9 games, only started in 2 of them. He has an 11.28 ERA on the season. 22 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 37 runs on 34 hits, showing how impactful those walks and hit by pitch are. He has hit 4 with a pitch and has walked 15. this season. He's also struck out 14 so far this year. Netterville showing bunt, pulls it back, is going to get the called strike. Interesting to see Netterville set up with a possible bunt situation. You wouldn't totally expect him to do that. Not one of the fastest guys, but he is sneaky quick. So we'll see what he does there. He's going to hit that to the second baseman. Fielding it poorly is Gentleman, and it's going to go out towards right field. They're probably going to give it to an error. Time and time again in this game, we've seen these collegiate players not get in front of the baseball. They try to field it on the side of their body or out where they're unable to get it, and just like that, once again, it costs another issue. So we'll see what they credit Netterville with on that one. They're going to say it's a hit. So Netterville got the single on that one. We're going to bring up Alec Hardy. Transfer to Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. Had a good first game defensively. A couple of great plays over there at second base. We got to see one. A very speedy man. Hardy the junior. Earlier today at the plate, wasn't able to get a whole lot done. He struck out twice. Both times he was swinging in the third and the sixth inning. He flew out to right field in the 8th inning, and then in the first inning he grounded out to second base, his own position. Jacob Sitton, the pitcher out of Milan, Tennessee, actually only about 20 miles north here of Jackson. A 20-minute drive. Hardy in the box. Looking in for his fourth pitch. Here it is. A little off speed, rung him up. They're going to call that strike 3 as Hardy goes down on strikes. We get to see Carson Chavies, the right fielder, his first appearance of this game. He had a phenomenal first game. Actually got the first hit for the Bulldogs earlier today. He, in the first inning, got the single, was actually caught stealing. In the fourth inning, he reached and then stole the base. That did it. He grounded out another 2 times later in the game. But is currently leading the Bulldogs, especially like in conference play. Carson Chavies in the conference has 16 hits against conference opponents, 13 runs, having a really good season here for the Bulldogs as a sophomore. Great to see a guy that they plan on having with them for quite a few years. Shows bunt, drops down the third base side, not going to go fair. But Chavies was another one of those guys out of Collierville High School. Played all 4 years of baseball, played summer ball for the East Coast Sox. Selected to play in the 2019 PBR Future Games for Team Tennessee. He hit .360 with a .544 on-base percentage that year as well. Led the team in walks and runs scored and was second in stolen base in high school. Off the field, he graduated with honors. Chavies, the switch hitter, hitting from the left side, of course. It really didn't have a big impact in the first game as much as we expected it to. A lot of balls were remaining on the infield grass. We saw Poindexter continue to throw low and inside the zone, as well as the other starting pitcher. The starting pitcher for the Bucks, Jackson Sleeper, and continued to pound the inside and low of the zone, and of course trying to get any ground ball play as much as possible. The fly balls that did go out towards the outfield definitely were affected by the wind. We see our right fielders playing more naturally in the given positions, and that's going to be hit in the gap. Great run there by Netterville. He's going to make it to at least third, and a good look there by Chavies is going to give them their second single of the inning. Netterville had already taken off on the hit and run, so Netterville's going to make his way over to third, and the Bulldogs look to strike for the first time today. Rebound from the tough top of the first inning. Grayson Swanson, the left fielder, is going to get his first attempt at this game. Had a big double in the first game of this doubleheader. Of course, that came in the 6th inning, but he was ultimately stranded after the fly ball by Mitch Sisk, who hit after him and was unable to come around and score. Swanson struck out in the 8th inning as well as the 4th, both times swinging, and then he had a line drive to the third baseman Brown in the first game. It was an unbelievable play. One thing that really surprises me in this game is McDaniel catching back-to-back games of a doubleheader. Really shows the endurance here of some of these Christian Brothers athletes. Bulldogs, of course, starting Canyon Pace in the first one. Caden Cottrell came in a designated hit for him as a pinch hitter. And then Ben Smith finished out the first one. He's going to start the second one. We'll see if Smith does the entire game behind the plate, or if they shake it up. Maybe we might get to see John Wheeler or Caden Cottrell finish out this game. So a first and third situation here. Grayson Swanson, of course, the best hitter last year for the Bulldogs. Had a lot of honors preseason. We got to talk about those during the first game. Got the grills going over behind the third base dugout. We got cornhole and spike ball, a couple different fans getting to enjoy what looks like a little tailgate that's happened. A good fake throw there by the catcher, but while he faked it, Chavies took second base from him. So McDaniel looked to fake to third just to make sure that Netterville wouldn't go home. And the Bulldogs have two runners in scoring position the first time today. They look to strike here early in this game, chip away at the 3-run lead that the Bucks currently have over them. Sitton is looking in. That's going to be popped out. So it's going to go out towards the triangle. Pizer and Folks right in center coming in together. It looks like they might call it off. No, they will not. One run's going to come in to score in Netterville. Both runners advance. They tag up, and the Bulldogs have their first run of the day. Swanson gets the job done. Has a sac fly. Team play there. Great fly out towards right field is going to bring Chavies to third. Netterville home, and Mitch Sisk is going to get a crack at it here. Sisk in the first game had a single in the ninth, his one hit on the day. He flew out to center field in the sixth inning, grounded out in the fourth, struck out in the second inning of the first game of the doubleheader. Sisk so far this season for the Bulldogs is hitting .329, very impressive at the plate. Has played in all 27 games, started every single one of them. Has had 25 hits, 15 runs. Got to talk to one of his youth pastors last week, and he was like, man, it was fun to watch him in high school. We knew that he always had a great at-bat. Went and spent a couple years at Jackson State Community College here in Jackson. Really worked on his hitting and used his 2 years over there, transferred into Union this year, where he has been a huge and instrumental part of this Bulldog offense on the season, especially with his 20 RBIs, 3 home runs, slugging percentage of .500. As he continues to be a threat, especially towards the middle of this lineup here for the Bulldogs. He takes that curveball inside, gets a piece of it, stays alive, 0-2. He transferred to Union from J-State, like we just said, played all 2 years of baseball. He was able to there, named the Jackson-Madison County Sports Hall of Fame Male Athlete of the Year. Very impressive award during his high school days. Went to Trinity Christian Academy with a lot of other guys on this team. Was a member of that 2019 state runner-up squad. So he pops that one back. Also played football. You'll probably hear me say time and time again about how well-rounded our Bulldog athletes are. One of the cool things you see about a small school is guys being able to do a lot of different sports, especially the private schools and high school guys that'll play basketball, baseball, golf, a little bit of everything. And Mitch Sisk is no exception. Also named the district tournament MVP, region MVP, All-American, and goes down swinging. So the Bulldogs put 1 run on the board, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and we will be right back with you. The Bulldogs are once again today down by 2. We'll see you in the top of the second inning.
Looking for a Christian college or starting the college search process? I want to take a second to tell you about my school, Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Union is a private 4-year university known for its rigorous academics, Christ-centered community, and the success of its graduates. My favorite part about Union is the faculty. The professors here are so intentional about helping students grow not only academically, but also spiritually. You should check out Union for yourself. Come for a visit. I know you'll love it. At Union University, you'll be transformed.
We are already at the bottom of the lineup here for the Buccaneers. Shaq Matthews in the 9 hole is going to be the leadoff hitter here in the second inning. Ryan Evans taking the mound once again, looking to get his control dialed in. through 1 inning, 33 pitches, gave up 1 hit, 2 walks, and of course the instrumental hit by pitch. And there was a couple of those. He started the game off with a walk to Fulks. Faro grounded out before Brocado and Factal both had hit by pitch. Single given up to Pizer, and of course the walk to Brown as they put up 3 runs in the top of the first. That's going to be hit out towards left center. Swanson and Davis are going to be running over. It's going to fall. It's going to be at least 2. Davis is going to be the first one to grab it. Going 3, possibly is Matthews. No, he's going to stop at second base, and Davis is going to haul it in just in time, but not before Matthews starts the inning off with a huge double out towards left center. We're back to the top of the Bucks lineup here in Fulks. Fulks, of course, like we just said, walked in the top of the first inning, came around to score, stole a base earlier today in the game. He was also one of the first and only runs in game 1. He flew out in the first inning, had a single, came around to score in the third, grounded out in the 5th, and flew out in the 7th. Fulks this season hitting .254, has 114 at-bats, actually leading the team in at-bats in the leadoff spot, has 29 hits, 27 runs, scored 18 RBIs, fourth on the team in RBIs. Pizer, McDaniel, and Factal actually have a few more than he does. He has 18 RBIs, though very impressive, 5 doubles, a triple. Can continue his hot season at the plate. Christian Brothers have been a very good team this year. Offensively, their struggle has also come from pitching, a very similar situation to the Bulldog bullpen. I see a couple guys getting warmed up already in the left field bullpen for Union. Poindexter did exactly what he was supposed to do. They didn't have to use any relievers in the first game. Poindexter went all 9 innings, just like he did last weekend against Delta State. Bulldogs have a whole entire bullpen that they can use whenever they want, as that's going to land out towards right field. Chavy is going to grab it. 1 run's going to come around to score. That's Matthews. And another hit, another run. And the Bulldogs are down by 3. Charlie Faro hitting .349 on the season, second on the team. He started 19 games, played as well as 19. Chavy's going back. He's chasing track. He's deep. He's running out of room. Grabs it right into the wall. Goes slamming into the wall. Not going to be able to throw it back in time. But another out. Great play there by Chavy's. Warning track didn't warn him quite enough. He used the 335-foot outfield wall to protect him there. Actually 385 out there in deep right field, but not before he's able to haul that one in for the second out. First out of the inning, excuse me. Brocado, the batter, was hit by a pitch in the first inning, very similarly to the first game where he was hit in the third inning. He came around to score on the single by Pizer. Fans now starting to pile in here to Fesmire Field. We had a huge attendance for the first game. It was one of the most well attended I've ever seen the Fez. It was great to see a packed house. Fans very engaged. They got a great game right until the end. Had the cowbells and everything very ready and excited. The runner's going to go. Here's the throw from Smith. And, oh, they're going to say he's safe. The fans disagree. It looked very close out there. Great tag made by Alec Hardy, the second baseman. Smith put the throw right on the money. I guess it might have been Fulks getting right underneath it, but man, that was close there at second base. Still a 0-0 game behind us. So the Lady Bulldogs take on the Lady Bucks. Evans from the stretch. Back checks his runner. He's going to try to pick him off. Alec Hardy there just in time, sneaking up right behind, making sure that ball doesn't go sailing out towards center field. Pitch not going to be in there. The sky is really starting to turn blue. The clouds really moving in and out quickly. We're going to have a quick meeting here between Netterville and Smith and Evans at the mound. But one of the things we did notice during the first game is the ever-moving clouds that are moving very quickly. Shade, no shade, shade, no shade. But this game is pretty much pure sunlight right now, except for the large shadows cast by the lighting poles. Beautiful day for some baseball after all the storms last night. Hard to hear of all the damage in Mississippi and the cities that were really impacted last night by the tornadoes. I know Jackson was under a tornado watch for most of the day yesterday. I think that this is going to do it here, as Evans is going to be heading back to the bullpen. We're going to see our first pitching change, but until then, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with you in a few minutes. Going to see the end of Ryan Evans and the beginning of BB10. We got Billy Beckham coming into the game for the Bulldogs in this one in relief. That's going to do it for Evans, who went 1 1/3 innings through 48 pitches, gave up 3 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, and faced a total of 12 batters. Billy Beckham, 6 foot 200-pound sophomore, Litchfield, Illinois, went to Lewis and Clark Community College. Is going to enter this game. The first one's going to be deep towards left. Swanson's going back at the track, and that's going to be off the wall. Bounces. Factow is going to have at least 1 run's going to come home. 2 runs is coming home, and it's going to be a double on the very first pitch that Beckham throws. Brocado comes home to score. Folks comes home to score. And the Bucks have blown this game wide open. That one, man, if there was a little bit more wind, that would have been out of here for sure. Facto having the easy stand-up double. Coach Casey coming out to confirm that one. And we are now going to see the left-handed right fielder, Pizer, the only lefty in this starting lineup for the Bucks. You can now smell the grill out there in left field. Cooking up burgers and dogs, it looks like, over there. Smoke going. Smells good. Always a good day for a baseball game. 65 degrees, little cool breeze. Smell of a hot dog. Nothing better than that in the spring. It's going to be popped right back. So Billy Beckham transferred to Union from the Lewis and Clark Community College. Played a couple years of baseball there. Named to the Springfield All-Area All-Star Game in 2021. He hit .290 with 5 home runs, 29 runs scored, 24 RBIs, and was 12 for 12 in stolen base attempts. Third on his team in hits, home runs, and average. Also went to Litchfield Senior High School, where he played all 4 years of baseball, basketball, 2 years of football, and 2 years of golf. Played 4 years of club baseball for the Springfield Arsenal Club team. Beckham was named baseball MVP 3 times and was all-conference 3 times in those years. Also got the most improved leadership awards in baseball and adds to the impressive amount of awards that this Bulldog starting lineup possesses. So the Pies are going down on strikes. 2 outs finally recorded here in the top of the second inning. We're going to see the catcher McDaniel get his second plate appearance in the game. Flew out on an absolute sniper to Netterville in the first inning on the line drive. Earlier today, he had a big double in the 6th inning, grounded out in the 8th, and actually grounded out in the ending double play in the 3rd of the first game. That was a great play to make sure that the Bulldogs didn't give up more runs. And then Poindexter from that point on was really lights out. Of course, he had the sacrifice bunt as well in the second inning. As you can see, McDaniel taking plenty of time. Definitely a player with a ton of endurance to be able to catch 2 straight games back-to-back of this doubleheader here. Beckham in his second season with the Bulldogs has a 13.50 ERA this year. He's 0-1, has appeared in 8 games, coming in relief all 8 of those games. Thrown 9 in the 3rd inning, which is 1 more than he had last year. He's given up 14 hits, 15 runs, 6 walks, and has struck out 2 batters this year. Lots of home runs and doubles given up. We just saw one, of course, the 5th given up this year by him. He's given up 4 going into this game. 1 triple and 3 home runs. The extra bases against him are large, and that one's going to be out towards left field. Running in is Swanson on his right to end the inning. But not before they put up another 3 runs. Bulldogs now down by 5. Very tough start to this game, but thankfully we're just at the beginning. Bulldogs can turn it around here. We go to the bottom of the 2nd. Grant Ross is going to kick off the Bulldog rebound mission here that they are on, finding themselves down by 5. Ross had a great first game earlier this afternoon. Had a single in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th, and a huge double in the 7th inning. Ended up being stranded, but it was a big momentum change that we saw. Everything seemed to begin to fall into place for the Bulldogs in the first game, fortunately coming up just short in the bottom of the 9th after the leadoff single by Mitch Sisk. Grant Ross, the only fully designated left-handed hitter here for the Bulldogs. Travies and Netterville have also been hitting from the left side as well. See if the wind is able to help Ross get one out of the ballpark today. Of course, the only freshman in this starting lineup for the Bulldogs. He's going to hit that one oppo. That's going to go out towards left field. He's got his first hit so far in this one. The left fielder, Factow, is going to come over and grab it, but not before Ross starts it off. So Bulldogs started it off with a single. Netterville got that one going. Caden Cottrell, typically a catcher, going to fill in here as the designated hitter in this game. We saw Blake Barrett have the job in the first one. Caden Cottrell, the 6', 205-pound sophomore out of Hendersonville, Tennessee, excuse me. His second season with the Bulldogs. This year he's batting .111, played in 8 games, started only 1 of them. He's had 9 at-bats, 3 runs, 1 hit, 1 RBI and a slugging percentage of 111. Struck out once as well. And I think we're going to go to the bullpen. Yes, we are. Interesting move here. Weber Denman's going to get the relief. Well, as we adjust our scorebooks, we'll be right back with you in a few seconds to get everything recalibrated. Weber Denman taking over on the mound. Faced a lot of these guys out of high school back in the day. Out of Collierville, Tennessee, just like many Bulldogs are. Collierville, of course, being about 45 minutes to an hour west of us here this season so far. He's got a 4.67 ERA. He's appeared in 8 games, thrown 17 in a third innings. And that one's going to be launched out towards right field. Pizer's running back at the wall, at the track. It's going to be off of the wall. It's going to bounce a couple times. Cottrell has at least a double. He's going 3. 1 run's going to come around to score. Here's the throw at third. It bounces off of him, and that's going to be a triple there by Caden Cottrell on the very first pitch that he sees from Denman. Make sure everybody's okay there at third base, but the Bulldogs are right back in it. They have energy. They've got a hit. They've got another runner in scoring position and no outs. A great way to start this second inning off. Exactly what you want to do. The boys are very fired up. They want to claw back into this game. Now they're down by 4. Coach Casey's going to come out and talk to Cade and make sure everything is okay. Trainers are currently meeting with the third baseman, Brown, who might have gotten either a stray cleat or that ball that was thrown there. Over at third. Very tight play, very physical play there. So Ross comes around to score on that hit. A great moment here for the Bulldogs as they have life early. Love that. And that is why Cottrell is in this game. His job is to hit, and that is exactly what he does. Colby Davis has a runner over there at third. No outs. Davis transferring here from the Marion Military Institute. He shows bunt but is pulling back. Originally out of Hoover, Alabama, went to Hoover High School. Played 2 years at the Military Institute. He hit .314 with a .442 slugging percentage, .458 on-base percentage, 4 home runs. He's also named to the Dean and Commandant's list. Does he show bunt? He does. He drops it down the first base. There's nobody over there, and they're going to say it gets away from the first baseman. 1 run's going to score. Colby's going to second. No, he's going to third. Here he goes. The helmet is off, and he's going to be at third. He trades places with Caden Cottrell. And the Bulldogs have back-to-back big moments here. He gives the military salute. Guns a-blazing, says at ease, and the boys are riled up. So Cottrell comes home on a wild bunt. Typically, you don't get 3 bags on a bunt, but that's exactly what Colby Davis was able to do. We'll see what they call that. They're going to say that might be a advance there on the throw. Running over there was Tate Gentleman, of course, the second baseman, trying to cover the bag on that bunt attempt. But wow, what a play there by Colby Davis. Ben Smith wanted to do the exact same thing, showed bunt. Said if Caden can do it, I can too. Smith has struggled a little bit at the plate this year, but has begun to turn around. Actually had his first home run last weekend against Delta State. Very exciting. Let's give you a little off speed. Still no outs here. In the bottom of the second inning, this game already going At a slower pace than the first one, and that's going to be out towards left field. Smith's got a hit. One run's going to come around to score. Smith's going to stay at first base, and Davis comes home on the RBI single by the catcher, Ben Smith. Only had to see a few, pick the one he wanted, and launch that one out towards left. Bulldogs are within 2. They respond to the 3 runs put up by the Bucks in the top of the inning. So Davis comes home to score, and that is 3 runners straight that have scored. So we had a single by Ross, the triple by Cottrell. Interesting to see. We're still waiting to see what they called Davis. They're going to say it was an error that he reached on in the single by Smith, as this Bulldog rally has been very exciting here. They found themselves down by 5. They've cut that now to 2. Back to the top of the Bulldogs starting lineup, and Britt Netterville, he got the whole game started earlier today with a single. He's going to show bunt again. They love the bunt. That's going to be a bouncer. They're going to say it's an out, I believe. Yes. Yeah, I wondered if it was a hopper or a quick little pop-up, and it looks like it was a pop-up. So the bunt worked once or twice, but not there for Netterville. Great play by the catcher, McDaniel, to record the first out of the inning. Alec Hardy, the second baseman, getting his second plate appearance in just as many innings. Fans are ultimately beginning to file in, a lot of them standing back behind the seats. Fun to see the energy that the Union University students bring to a game atmosphere. Of course, the Birders out in left field are helping them incentivize them to come in the first place, but the Bulldogs are keeping them here with what's going on the field. Denman looks over to first base. He's going to go home with it. Hardy struck out in the first inning, of course. Earlier in the first game today, he struck out twice. Went 0 for 4. Here's the moment. He's got to run on. Bulldogs have had quite a few hits. 4 straight hits, of course. That's going to be out towards left field. Running in is Factao. He is going to grab it. Very great play there by the left fielder. He got it a little off balance, but he is able to haul in the fly ball there by Alec Hardy for the second out of the inning. Carson Chavis stepping up to the plate, of course, one of the best hitters in this Bulldog starting lineup. Got a single and was left stranded earlier in the first. He inherits the runner over there in Ben Smith, hoping to bring him home, or at least move him over and reach as well. Chavis, the left-handed batter, is going to take the first off-speed pitch in there for a called strike. Dropping back, you see the right fielder, Pizer. Of course, playing deeper than any other fielder today. The wind definitely dying down. We saw a significant wind of 13, 14 miles an hour dead east out towards right field. Wow, what a pitch there. The off-speed totally fooled him. He slowed down his swing and ended up swinging right through it. So here is the next delivery to Carson. Once again, he throws it off to Ben Smith's going to try to rip off a bag, and he is thrown out, caught stealing, something that he likes to do to the opposing team. Well, the Bulldogs put up 3 runs on 3 hits. Great. Actually, 3 runs. Yeah, 3 runs on 3 hits. No errors. We'll be right back with you here in the top of the 3rd inning. Bulldogs down 2.
Chip DNA. That's what you find at Jones Chevrolet at Three-Way. A full line of new Chevrolets plus West Tennessee's largest used car inventory. State-of-the-art service work and pre-approved auto loans online at JonesChevroletHumboldt.com. Shop with a winner. Jones Chevrolet at Three-Way.
Third baseman Seth Brown up against Billy Beckham. Beckham came on in relief of Evans. Earlier in the 2nd inning, was able to come in and get the job done, of course, striking out Pizer and the fly out with McDaniel. Brown in the 1st inning walked. He's going to pop that one out towards center field. Dropping back is Davis. He's underneath it in the sun, and he's got it on the 2nd pitch of the at-bat. Brown goes down. Gentleman up to the plate. Grounded out to shortstop earlier in the 1st inning. In the first game of the doubleheader, he struck out in the 2nd inning. He grounded out in the 4th inning. In the 7th inning, he struck out as well. And in the 9th inning, he flew out, going 0 for 4. He is currently 0 for 5 so far on the day. He's going to get that one out. Throws his hands outside the zone at it. Trying to put the barrel of the bat on anything he can get a piece of. Beckham trying to get him to chase with the 1-2 count. Of course, Ben Smith setting up outside in the zone, trying to get something low and away, and that's going to be in on the hands. Popped up in the infield. Mitch Sisk, the third baseman, underneath it, hauls it in for the second out of the inning. Now we see the designated hitter, Shaq Matthews, doubled and scored to start that second inning rally. The double, and then was knocked in on the single by Folks. Takes that one in there for a called strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here to Matthews. Beckham really coming in and trying to get the job done. Still some action over there in both of the bullpens. Already on. The second pitcher for both teams, of course, Sitton getting the start. Denman coming in relief. Denman gave up 2 hits on the 9 pitches. Ryan Evans went an inning and a third, so has Billy at this point now, actually. And now he takes him full. Sisk dropping back now at third base, and he's going to put that one in play. Here comes Mitch. He's going to grab it, throw it over to first. Grant's got it, and a 1-2-3 inning here for Billy Beckham, the sophomore pitcher. That's going to do it here for the Bucks in the top of the third. We'll see you in the bottom of the inning. Bulldogs keep their momentum, only down by 2. It's 6-4 in Jackson. Carson Chavies gets attempt number 2 here in the bottom of the third inning. Of course, he was the man that was at the plate when Ben Smith was busted for stealing. Here's his attempt outside. Denman remains in relief. Chavies with the black and gold bat today. Here's a delivery to him. Hits him. No. Does it hit him? No, it doesn't. Looked like it hit him. Must have dropped right in front of the dirt. It's a weird thing from our angle up here in the booth. He's going to hit that one down the first base line. Foul. Chavies at the left part of the box there. A little off speed, gets away from Denman. Weber came on, and the very first pitch that he threw ended up being a big scoring hit, as that one slips away from him, and Chavies has a free trip to first. So Chavies has now reached both times. He had a single in the first, was left stranded at third, and now walks here to start off the third inning. Grayson Swanson had a sacrifice fly, bringing home the run in the first inning, the first run of the game, as he flew out to the right fielder, Pizer, who's had a great hand-eye coordination there at the plate. Good reads. Interesting to see now that he faces a righty from the stretch. He's able to put the ball in play, a little off speed there. Something we've seen Denman throw over and over and over again. There's lots of curveballs, lots of off speeds, lots of things to consistently keep this every batter he faces on their toes. That's going to be right down the middle for him.
Batting now, number 11, Allie Whitfield.
Delivery runner's going to go. It almost hits him, and that's going to be... They're going to call him out at second base. The second caught stealing. Coach Casey clearly frustrated about that one. He comes out to talk to the home plate umpire. The umpire's going to have a conversation with him. Coach Casey's going to head back to the dugout after being clearly frustrated. We'll see. Gets the warning from the umpire, wants some clarification. If I was Coach Casey, I'd probably be doing the exact same thing, not going to lie. But Chavies is removed from the bases. Swanson almost getting hit by that pitch. Got to pop that one straight up a mile high. Running in is the center fielder. He's going to call off Factow and take the out. Sisk struck out in the first inning, which ended that one. Looking to do something opposite here. Sisk's had a great game defensively over at third base already in this one. Can take the first pitch for a called strike. Next off speed in there for a called strike. Great pitch there by Weber Denman. Really good delivery on that one from him. That's going to be slapped over the first base side. We got a fan with a glove running to grab it. No, it's going to bounce off the back, and the fan isn't going to get it. Grabs a foul ball. Fun experience for lots of kids here at the ballpark today. Great atmosphere out here at Fesmeyer Field. Lots of fans here at the baseball game and the softball game. Quite a few people over there cooking out. They got grills and cornhole and different activities and games set up over there. Off speed, a little bit outside there. That's going to be slid out towards left field, running over his Factow, and it's going to land at least one base. No, he's going two. Mitch Sisk is going to make his way to second, and he's going to get there just in time. He's got a double with a 2-out, 2-strike, 2-ball count. Mitch has two bases. Keeps the rally alive here. Great to see the Bulldogs continue to stay in the at-bats, really making sure they watch the first pitch, especially on a pitcher against somebody like Weber Denman that's throwing a lot of off-speed, switching it up, very inconsistent at the plate. We're going to see Grant Ross, who had a single, came around to score to get things started in the second inning, get his second plate appearance of the game. He's got Mitch out there in scoring position at second base, Farr, the shortstop, holding him, and now going back to his position, allowing Sisk to get a huge lead out there at second. And that one's going to be popped out right behind the head of the shortstop. It's going to fall in the triangle. Sisk is going to come around to score. He is going to score, and Grant Ross has back-to-back singles right there as Factow, Folks, and Faro all collapsed in on that ball, unable to get it. One run will score, and a 2-out rally here for the Bulldogs brings them within one. Caden Cottrell had that huge triple in the second inning. Very exciting moment there that really got these boys fired up, started the rally, brought Ross home, of course, looking to do the same thing And he's going to launch that one out towards left field. Going back towards the wall is Factow. It's kind of in between both of them. And he's going to grab it on his left side and haul it in the shadows of the warning track near the left center wall. But not before the Bulldogs pull it within one. They keep chipping away. They got 1 run in the first, 3 in the second, 1 in the third, and we go to the top of the fourth. 6-5 Bucks. Coach Casey having a conversation there with the home plate umpire, it appears. He's over there. They've been at each other's throats for the majority of this game. The umpire slams his mask back on his face and walks back to home plate very frustrated. Not really somebody that's hiding his emotions. As we see Wiggy take them out, Ethan Orwig, that ball's going to be put into play. Great field there by Netterville. He's going to just eat it. He almost throws it over, but decides it wouldn't be in time anyways. And Folks gets on to start off the inning. Great play there by Netterville to get the field, but decides to eat it rather than throw it away. So that's going to do it here for Billy Beckham. We go to the bullpen once again. Beckham went an inning and 2/3, did exactly what he needed to do, gave up no runs, only 1 hit, and struck out 1 in the 6 batters that he faced. And we get to see Ethan Orwig come into the game, trying to really shake up the release points and a lot of the action and motion that they've been used to. Billy Beckham, of course, throwing everything right down the middle as best as he can with a higher release point, where Orwig is consistently shaking it up. He's got a lot of flair in both the legs and the arms when he throws it, especially when he's going from the stretch. Keeps everything very quick. Emotion's always at it. And Orwig is going to get him to pop up in the infield. Running over is Alec Hardy. He's going to catch it, and that is going to do it for Faro here in the 4th inning. Brocado, the next batter. The man over at first is Folks. There's a lot of attention here given by the fans to a younger fan that has a rabbit in the crowd. People were walking it around on a leash earlier, definitely bringing a lot of attention. I see lots of pups out here today, 3 or 4 dogs. It's a beautiful day here for some baseball in Jackson. Ethan Orwig going very quickly. Great release there. Ben Smith got that one in the dirt. Orwig keeping things moving very quickly, flailing the arm, and he'll take it anywhere from a 0-degree release point to a 45. He likes to really change things up as he continues to move. That one's definitely outside. Ben Smith with a great throw, wide open. That's got to be a pickoff. It is. He's out, and that's going to dust and sweep the bases as Folks is thrown out there at second base, and everything resets here as Folk is caught stealing. Ben Smith gunned him by about 1.5 miles out there. Second base, great tag there by our Bulldog middle infielders. It's going to be in there for a strike.
Batting down number 30, Kylie Burke.
Ethan Orwig can now exhale a sigh of relief, knowing that all of the bases are clean for him. We see him go back to his more comfortable windup as he throws a phenomenal off-speed pitch in there. Tons of movement on that one. It probably moved 2 feet by the time it went in. He shakes off the catcher Smith. He gets what he likes. Throws it right down the umpire didn't call it a strike and immediately looks over to the Bulldog dugout, of course, having a little bit of a chatter with them throughout this game, and a big swing there. Gets a very small piece of it there as Factow. Actually, Brocado, excuse me.
And now number 22, Kyra Cooley.
Brocado in this game has been hit by a pitch in the first inning. He walked in the second inning, came around to score both times, and Ethan Orwig lights him up, strikes him out. 1, 2, 3 inning. The Bulldogs are down by 1. They have life. The fans wave away Brocado, and we go to the bottom of the fourth.
We realize you have a busy lifestyle, and at the Bank of Jackson, we're here to help you fulfill all of your financial needs, personal and business loans, mortgages, online banking and bill pay, and so much more. Serving the Jackson area for 25 years. The Bank of Jackson, your down-home community bank. You belong here. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The Bucks go back to their bullpen once again as Weber Denman hits the showers for the day. He pitched 2 innings, gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk in the 10 batters that he faced. It's going to bring in the relief pitcher. That is going to be Joseph Gibson, the 6-foot, 165-pound sophomore out of Drummond, Tennessee. This season he has an 8.22 ERA. He's 1-1 on the season, appeared in 10 games, actually started 1 of them. And he has 23 innings pitched on the season, giving up 31 hits, 22 runs, 11 walks, and has struck out 13. He's always been somebody that gives up lots of extra base hits. He's given up 6 doubles, 2 triples, and a home run already this season. Last year, as a freshman, he pitched with a 5.36 ERA, went 3-3 in his 19 appearances, actually threw a complete game last year in his 47 innings of work. Gave up 51 hits, 34 runs, struck out 39. Up to the plate, we see Colby Davis. He reached on the air, got that error triple in the second inning, came around to score in that really big play after Cottrell. Cottrell, of course, got the triple, and then Davis traded places with him, and then eventually came around to score on the single by Ben Smith. That one's going to get away from the pitcher, and Colby Davis has a 90-foot sprint on the walk. Of course, possibly thinking about taking an extra base on that one. That's why he sprinted so fast over there to first, because it got away from the catcher, McDaniels. Gibson has thrown away a couple balls. That was his second wild pitch already in that plate appearance. As we see Ben Smith got that big single, but then was eventually caught stealing to end the second inning. He's going to show bunt, something that worked really well for Cottrell and Davis, of course. Bunch of guys showing bunt already in this game. Third baseman Brown playing very shallow, ready for Ben Smith to do it again. Of course, Ben Smith not loading up all the way. They expect it again. He does show bunt. He's going to pull it back. You can kind of see in the bend of his knees that he is not loading up the barrel. He would rather just try to leg one out. Ben Smith does have quite a bit of speed, even though he was caught stealing. Coach Casey's going to come out and give the signs. Interesting to see that the head coach is giving those and not the third base coach. Unique thing about this Bulldog coaching staff this year, putting trust in their head coach, McGee. Going to show bunt again, and once again it's going to be ball 3. As Gibson is clearly flustered every time. Smith shows bunt. His catcher, McDaniel's going to wander out to the mound, have a conversation with him about it. We'll return to action here in a minute. That is one of the meetings at the mound charge there. Catcher Smith's going to watch it. It's going to be ball 4. There it is. Smith's going to have a 4-pitch walk. And back-to-back walks issued to Davis and Smith will bring us to the top of the Bulldog lineup. Exactly what they want here out of the 8 and 9 holes. Davis and Smith. Ederville is going to start us off here. He's got 2 runners on, no outs. Had the single, came around to score in the first inning, of course, popped out to the catcher in the second. Currently the Lady Bulldogs are down by 1. It's 3-2 in the game behind us. Top of the 7th inning back there. It's crunch time there for the Lady Bulldogs. Gibson back in the stretch. He's going to let Netterville take his time. Netterville, of course, giving a couple windups. He's going to lay up with a bunt. He's going to pull it back. There's going to be a play at third, not in time. And two-runner steal there. Great job there on the double steal. Davis goes to third, Smith goes to second, and there is just something about the showing bunt that's getting in the head of Gibson. Netterville's going to drop down. We're going to see him play with the dirt a little bit. Every single time that we have seen a Bulldog show bunt, the ball has gone not in the strike zone. So that's going to be hit out towards center field. At least one run's going to come in on the tag. Folks is going back in center field. One runner is going to tag up, not both of them. But that's going to be a sacrifice fly, and the Bulldogs have erased the 5-run deficit they found themselves in, and this is a tie ball game here in Jackson. Netterville does exactly what he's supposed to. Team player there, sac fly, RBI. It's going to be the first out of the inning, but not before Davis scores. Smith is still out there at second, and we're going to see Alec Hardy get his attempt at this. The game looked pretty grim from the start, but now the fans are back in it. They've taken their seats. They're staying in the game. Here's the pitch to Hardy, the second baseman, in the dirt. We've said both of these bullpens have been a little bit of the Achilles heel of the pitching staffs this season. The Bulldogs are making some quick work here of the pitchers. They're already on their third. Bulldogs, of course, on their third as well. Very different game, especially very different pitching styles. We only saw a total of 3 pitchers in the first game, and we've seen 3 from each team already here in the 4th inning. Here's the pitch to Hardy. That's going to be a little blooper out towards center field, running over his folks. He makes a jumping grab out in center field. What a play by the Buccaneer center fielder. He's got them big old hops out there in center. Alec Hardy robbed of a great hit. The dangerous man, Carson Chavies, is going to be our next hitter. So, of course, we started the inning off with a Colby Davis walk. Came around to score. Smith walked. Sacrifice fly by Netterville after Davis and Smith had a double steal. Hardy flies out as well. Chavies in this game had a single in the first, left stranded at third. Then he had a walk in the third and was caught stealing in that third inning. Earlier today, Chavies had a single, of course reached and was caught stealing. Stole a base in the 4th inning. Very aggressive on the base path here for the sophomore. And that one's going to be a hit. It's going to go out towards right field. They're going to call him home. Coming home quickly is Smith. There's going to be a play at the plate. Smith gets there in time, and the Bulldogs take the lead on an RBI single by Carson Chavies. 7-6 Bulldogs. They are right back in this, and they have taken control of this ball game. The heart of the lineup here, the cleanup hitter Grayson Swanson had the sac fly in the first inning to score a run. He already has 1 RBI in this game and then flew out to center field in the 3rd inning. Runner over there on first is Carson Chavies. We'll see if he tries to steal again. He's been steal happy all game long. There he goes. He does a delayed steal, and he gets it this time. So he's got 2 stolen bases, and he's been caught twice. His 4th attempt of the day. Interesting to see him do the delayed steal rather than just sprinting from the get-go. Really threw off the catcher McDaniel, and Chavies has another one to add to his daily resume. Took off running after the pitch was already across the plate. The strategy we really don't see used as much as we could. After the foul by Swanson, we're all going to take a breath here. Quick little break. Action in both bullpens. Definitely a high-scoring game. I was talking to one of our guys that runs music, and he goes, I can about guarantee you both of these teams are going to come and hit in this second game, especially after the first one. Of course, the Bulldogs getting shut out. Bucks only putting up 2 runs in the 3rd inning and being silenced from there. But this has been a totally different story. The Bucks put up 3 in the 1st, 3 in the 2nd, and haven't scored since. The Bulldogs have scored every inning, 1 in the 1st, 3 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, and now 2 in the 4th inning to take the lead. Coach Casey's coming out to say, hey, you're going on anything hit. Gives the signal. Swanson looks out towards his runner at second base. Just the brim of his helmet. Coming home with it is Gibson. It's going to be fouled back. You can see the smoke of the grill now covering a lot of the fans. They smell how good those grilled hamburgers are, and that's going to be a move over to 3rd for Chavies on the wild pitch. Another runner only 90 feet away from home, but that smoke really making its way over here. Bulldogs looking. Lady Bulldogs currently find themselves down by 1. 3 outs left. Have some of their best hitters up to the plate and on deck. We'll see if they're able to put together a late 7-inning rally. Here's the pitch to Swanee. It's going to be launched out towards left. It's sky high. Factow is underneath it. 1 run has come home. We'll see if it counts. It does not. Hauling it in is Factow, just a little bit too high. But the Bulldogs take the lead. They're up by 1. They lead for the first time today. We'll be right back with you in the top of the 5th inning here in Jackson.
Chip DNA. That's what you find at Jones Chevrolet at Three-Way. A full line of new Chevrolets plus West Tennessee's largest used car inventory. State-of-the-art service work and pre-approved auto loans online at JonesChevroletHumboldt.com. Shop with a winner. Jones Chevrolet at Three-Way.
Factow the batter. As the Bucks try to regain their lead here in the top of the 5th inning. Reminder that this is only a 7-inning game because of the doubleheader. We played 9 in the first one, 7 here, and that's when it's going to be launched out towards left center. Running back at the wall is going to be Swanson. He's going to grab it on the warning track, throw it back in. Factow's going to get aggressive. He's going towards 3rd. Here's the throw. It's going to be off the mark. And a triple to lead off the inning here in the top of the 5th inning for Clay Factow. He had a hit by a pitch, stole a base, double, and now a triple in this game. The offensive shootout continues as Coach Casey is going to come and talk to Ethan Orwig. Pizer will be the next hitter. And it looks like they're going to charge that, of course, as the meeting on the mound, but no pitching change. We're going to stay with Ethan Orwig. Orwig has gone an inning so far, thrown 10 pitches, given up 2 hits. Actually, 1 hit, excuse me. Just that hit just now. Here's a delivery to Pizer. Outside. Pizer singled in the first inning, made his way to second base before being stranded. Struck out in the 2nd and hasn't made his way back to the plate since. Here's a delivery outside. It's going to be a called strike there to the right fielder. Pizer so far this season is hitting .337, of course, one of the stronger hitters here in the Buck lineup as he is going to make his way to first on the walk. 2 runners on, no outs. Got a 1st and 3rd. Ben Smith's going to come and tell his middle infielders how they're going to cover second. It's interesting to see the Bucks earlier in this game allow second base to be stolen freely while doing a fake to 3rd. That was their 1st and 3rd strategy. Typically the Bulldog strategy is always throw it to second. The softball just actually tied the game in the bottom of the 7th inning. We've got some great baseball and softball action here. That's going to be hit towards third. Throwing home is Mitch Sisk. The runner is going to be out at the plate. Tried to body Ben Smith, and they get the out at home. And the Bulldogs protect their 1-run lead. Factow is out. It's going to move Pizer over to second, and McDaniel reaches on the fielder's choice. Seth Brown, the third baseman, hitting .212 on the season. He's had 66 at-bats, has scored 10 runs on 14 hits. Next pitch from Ethan Orwig, not going to be the one that he wants. Smith trying to line some stuff out here on the bottom of the plate. Trying to get a ground ball, roll him up, double play. See Hardy and Netterville both playing pretty close to second, preparing for a possible ground ball in their direction. Watching two games at once here. Big game behind us, big game in front of us. That's going to drill him right in the back. It's going to drop him to the ground as that one slips away from Orwig, and the bases are going to be loaded here in the 5th inning. He looks over to the dugout. They're going to leave him in. So Pizer makes his way to third. McDaniel now at second. And Brown at first on the hit by pitch. The ice has all been used up today by both teams. Feels like everybody gets hit by a pitch. The bases are absolutely juiced here for the second baseman. Gentleman, it's going to be low and away.
Batting now number 12, Zoe Neal.
That one's going to be low and away as well. A big, tight pressure situation. We'll see if Ethan Warwick can really keep the emotions in his control. Well balanced. That one's going to be a good called strike. Great pitch there by Orwig. Runner at third base. Pizer trying to get in his head a little bit, doing a couple fake jumps towards home. Trying to switch things up every second he can, and that's when it's going to be away as well. Orwig trying to get into chase, but you got to protect it. Strike two, here's the count. It looks like the Lady Bulldogs just walked it off in the bottom of the 7th. That ball's going to be hit towards the third base dugout. It is. It's going to be a walk-off for the softball. Great game here as the Lady Bulldogs sweep the doubleheader today. They win 4-3 right behind us here at the Fez. Fans going crazy over there on that walk-off. We're trying to get another win over here on the baseball diamond. Gentleman still the batter. 3-2. It might be hit towards the gap. Netterville's going to field it. Take it to third. There's going to be one out recorded. One run's going to come home to score. Netterville will take the easy out at third. Sisk didn't have enough time to gun it to first. And we're going to return to the tie ball game at 7-7. Gentleman is going to reach on the fielder's choice. Brown's going to go to second. McDaniel is now erased from the base path, and Pizer comes home to score. So, runner on first and second. Infield playing relatively in. Sisk, of course, on the grass. So we see the designated hitter, Shaq Matthews, up to the plate. Matthews doubled in the second inning, came around to score. from the stretch. It's going to be in off the hands, a little chip shot over the first base dugout. And we've got a tie ball game here. The girls were just tied. They took the lead and won it. See if the boys can do the same thing. Smith sets up in and low. That's exactly where the delivery is. Great little pitch there by Orwig. Matthews getting just the top piece of it, trying to force a ground ball. Trying to keep everything low in the zone there. We saw Matthews chip that one off directly in the dirt behind him, foul. Here's a delivery. An off speed really fooled Matthews there. He thought he was about to get hit by a pitch. He turned in, and it went right into the glove of Ben Smith. What a throw there by Orwig. Really tricked the designated hitter there. Same thing, chipped up, popped out towards center field. Will it drop? No, Netterville, yes, it will drop. Oh, no. One run will score, and the second will stay at third. Orwig threw that really, really, really good pitch. Clearly frustrated. Grant Ross, the first baseman, trying to calm him down. Netterville, full sprint, frustrated, slammed his glove. And the Bucks are celebrating like they won the World Series, something that might cost them later in this game. Celebrating a little early here with 2 outs. So Brown comes home. Gentleman now at third. Matthews at first. They're going to say that was a single by Matthews because of the difficulty of how hard that ball was by Netterville. Folks rips right through that one. So we've had a back and forth game this whole entire time. And that was the thing about the triangle there out in center field, is every ball that goes there gets lost. The 3 come running in between Hardy, Netterville, and Davis, and unfortunately the Bucks get a run. Orwig has been really consistent so far in this game. Of course, growing up here in Jackson, I went to Augustin High School, and he gets folks right through that one. I went to Augustin High School. He played all 4 years of baseball, 2 years of cross country, 3 years of tennis. Also a house captain for the upper schoolhouse system. Very talented writer and artist with the eventual goal of being a conservation journalist. Off speed gets it again. What a great pitch. He's got that nasty curve that folks turned into it. We saw Matthews turn into it. Gentleman turned into it. Thinking it's going to hit you. That's the danger of being a right-handed batter against such a phenomenal curveball like that. He throws it the reverse. Doesn't get the call exactly where Ben Smith wanted it. He set up and got the pitch perfectly in there. Just a little bit outside. That one's going to be in the dirt. So full count, 2 runners on, of course. We're going to see Matthews take off running here. And that's going to be launched out towards left. Dropping back is Swanson. He's underneath it towards the track, makes the grab, and conceals more damage being done. 2 runs put up by the Bucks. We got 2 runs, 1 hit, no errors. Actually, 2 runs, 2 hits, and no errors. We go to the bottom of the 5th. The Bulldogs lost their lead, but they're hoping to get it right back. Bulldogs are looking to continue what they started last inning, of course, putting up the 2 runs to take the lead. They were up 7-6, and now they find themselves down 8-7. Mitch Sisk is going to be the first hitter of the inning, fouls it right back. Continues to face Joseph Gibson. Gibson, of course, with the 8.22 ERA, 1-1 so far on the season. Against the third baseman, Sisk, who pops that one on the right side. Running over is Brocado. And does he get it? Hard to see. I think he does. Mitch Sisk is going to head back to the dugout. Great grab over by the fence there by the Buccaneer first baseman. Now we get to see Grant Ross. Grant Ross has had a phenomenal day. He's got a pair of singles already today. He was left stranded in the 3rd inning, but he was the one that started the rally in the 2nd. Came around to score. See if he can do it again. The lefty swings right through that one. Ross had a single in the 1st game as well as a double late in the 8th inning. Been the main piece of offense for the Bulldogs in this one. He's going to let that one slip and slide out of the strike zone there. I'm going to let that one go free. See if he can pull a sneaky down the right side. That one was up on him. Frost, another one out of Collierville High School. MVP All-State, All-Metro when he was there, and he hits a little dribbler down the third base line. Running over, third base throw, not going to be there in time. It's actually going to go sailing. Grant Ross is going to go to second base on the throwing error. Can he get 3? He's going to go for it. Grant Ross making his way over to third. Here's a throw from the right fielder, Pizer, nada. And Grant Ross is going to be standing up at third base on a weird series of events. He didn't even mean to hit that one. Little opposite dribbler on accident there, and he's going to make his way to third as the Bulldogs can threaten again with another runner in scoring position. Caden Cottrell, the next hitter. We'll see how they credit that. It's got to be an error. They might give him, in my guess, they might give him a single because of the difficulty of the play. And we'll see how they're going to score this. We're still waiting on it from the scores table. No, they are going to say that he reached on the error. So Caden Cottrell get his first plate appearance of the 5th inning. Infield in on the grass, ready for a play at the plate. And that's going to be launched out towards left. Oh, if it's fair, it's gone. And foul ball. I was ready for a home run on that one, as were the fans. Everybody quickly finding their way out of the seats. And a little bit of a heater there by Caden Cottrell. Of course, he had the triple in the 2nd inning. Big, powerful shot. Let's see if he can do one again. That's going to get away from the catcher. The runner is going to stay over at third as Ross decides not to get aggressive. Heart rate just started to go up. That would have been a go-ahead home run. Just about a foot or two foul over the pole out in left field. Absolute moonshot. Rocket off the bat, and here's the next pitch to him. Way outside. We haven't seen a good pinch since that. Gibson just saw the power displayed by Cottrell and knows, man, if he gets a piece of it, it's out of here. Gibson now pitching him outside, trying to make sure he can't get a rip at another one. Caden Cottrell, here's the next one to him. It's going to be opposite, off of the glove of the second baseman. That's what happens when you play in on the dirt, and another run's going to score, and the Bulldogs have tied it once again here in the 5th inning. They've scored 1 in the 1st, 3 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, and now 1 in the 5th on the RBI single by Caden Cottrell. Ross comes home after reaching on the error. What a great play there. So Gentleman was in, ready for a easy ground ball to take home to try to protect the lead. And that is not what happened. Cottrell was able to sneak one out towards right field off of the glove of Gentleman. And we're going to see the third baseman run in, waiting for a bunt attempt. We'll see what Colby Davis does. Colby, of course, reaching on the air all the way to third base, just like Ross did this inning. He did that in the 2nd, came around to score. He walked in the 4th, came around to score. And that one's going to be pushed out towards center field. Folks is running on his left, makes another jumping play. He really likes to jump up in the air this afternoon, possibly making a few of these fly balls a little bit more difficult than they need to be. but as an out is an out at the end of the day. The center fielder Fulks, and we get to see Ben Smith see if he can continue his great day at the plate. In the second inning, he had the single, but then was caught stealing, and then in the fourth, he had the walk to come around to score. Here's delivery to the Bulldog catcher. It's up. So, you see Ben Smith with the infield playing more back. They learned their lesson on the last one. Runner not going to go, but taking a very significant lead is Caden Cottrell. He's taking probably 9-10 feet every single pitch. Mercado is now holding him closer there at the bag. Gibson, we have not seen him attempt to pick off anywhere in this game. And we'll see what Smith can do to work here at the plate. Unbelievable defensive player, of course, breaking his ankle during the summer and relearning how to swing. Has had a much better play, and that's going to be out towards left field. Running in is going to be the left fielder. He's going to trap it. They're going to say it's not an out. I don't think. It looks like he trapped that one, and they're going to say it's going to be a single here for Smith. And a run going to third. And they're going to make sure that that is what they called him. And now the umpire, is he calling it out? What is he calling? Interesting to see that we have, of course, 3 umpires today. We have 2 in the field and 1 at the plate. Typically, we're used to only having 2 umpires, 1 in the field and 1 behind the plate. The coach of the Bucks is going to come out and have a conversation about that one. I think if anybody had a camera, they would have seen that Factow did indeed trap that ball out in left field. And now we're having a little bit of a stalemate, it appears. That conversation, we're going to appeal to the crew chief. But in our eyes, we have Cottrell over at third, Smith at first. Now we're going to have a meeting of the umpires here. They're having a little trio get together, forming a posse. No idea what this is going to be about. This is when the majors would typically send it to New York. But currently New York is Jackson, Tennessee. So we'll see what they're going to do about this one. Factow clearly didn't react. Now he's actually come into the infield. So has Fulks to talk with the fellow infielders for the Bucks. And they're going to have a conversation. They're going to say it's safe. And very angrily is the coach looking at him. They're going to say everybody's safe. And he's going to continue to battle. We'll see if he gets tossed or if he just continues to protest on the field. The ways you really know Factow trapped it is he really didn't argue it. I mean, he jumped up, he threw it in, and never seemed frustrated at all in left field. He knew that he trapped that ball. Smith is out there with a single, Cottrell at third, and an unhappy Christian Brothers coach will bring up the top of the Bulldog lineup in Britt Netterville. Netterville switch hitting today. He's been on the left side of the box this afternoon. He had a single, came around to score in the first, had the sac fly to bring in a run in the 4th inning. And he's going to hit that one right in the gap between first and second. One run's going to come around to score. The Bulldogs take the lead. Running to third is Ben Smith. He's got some wheels on him today, and they all trade places. Cottrell comes home. Smith goes to third, and Netterville is at first with a single. Clutch 2-out rally here for the Bulldogs. They take the lead once again. And this game is really a back-and-forth frenzy, putting on a show for all the fans that are here this afternoon. Hardy, one of the few guys that has been unable to get anything done in this game. He has popped out to left field and center already and struck out in the first. Has had some great contact, of course, was robbed by the center fielder Fulks on an incredible catch in center earlier in the 4th inning. Ben Smith cracking some jokes. They're at third base. Here's the delivery. Hardy's going to take it upstairs. Couple hundred people here at the Fesmeyer Field today. One of the most attended games we've seen all season for the Bulldogs. Of course, Lady Bulldogs getting the win on a walk-off definitely helps, and all the softball fans now making their way over to watch the gentlemen finish out their game. Hardy's going to watch that one in there as well. Ethan Orwig now would be the winning pitcher in this game if the trend continues. Of course, we have a guy warming up in both bullpens, and that's going to be a little blooper right to second base to end the inning. But the Bulldogs tack on two. They respond just as the Bucks did, and they have a 9-8 lead. We had 2 runs put up. Bulldogs, we'll be right back with you here in the top of the 6th. Bulldogs up by 1.
Looking for a Christian college or starting the college search process? I want to take a second to tell you about my school, Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Union is a private 4-year university known for its rigorous academics, Christ-centered community, and the success of its graduates. My favorite part about Union is the faculty. The professors here are so intentional about helping students grow not only academically, but also spiritually. You should check out Union for yourself. Come for a visit. I know you'll love it. At Union University, you'll be transformed.
Charlie Farrow, the shortstop for the Bucks, takes his place beside the plate. We have a pitching change here for the Bulldogs. Ethan Orwig would currently be the pitcher of record. He went 2 innings, 42 pitches, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, walked 1, and struck out 1 in the 10 batters that he faced. And we're going to bring in Ryan Middleton here in the 6th inning. Of course, 2 innings left in this game. Middleton out of Smith Station, Alabama, graduated from Smith Station High School. Went to Enterprise State Community College, where he played 1 season of baseball, started his college career at Andrew College, also played a season there. Played all 4 years of baseball in high school and summer baseball for the club team, the Fulton Railroaders. Studying exercise science here at Union, looking to become a physical therapist after he graduates. It's going to be Middleton so far this season has a 6.75 ERA, has 1 win, 2 losses, has appeared in 13 games, started 1 of them, actually has recorded 1 save already this season in his 12 innings of work. He's given up 14 runs on 19 hits. 9 of those have been earned. That's going to be hit down the left field line, foul. He's walked 7, struck out 12, given up 5 extra base hits, way better than last season. And he struggled a little bit last year, but has had a great year so far for the Bulldogs. It was really tough to watch him a couple weeks ago against, I believe it was Trevecca in that game, where he came in, did a little bit of a warm-up, injured his arm, and actually came out of the game, bringing in Jack Rasmussen instead. Very tough moment. Glad to see he is way healthier today. Of course, having a great day so far here for the Bulldogs in this game. Warmed up in the first game and now is getting the work in the second. Faro gets the single out into left field, and it's going to bring up Brocado. Brocado, who was hit by a pitch in the first inning, came around to score. In the second, he was walked and came around to score. He's gotten a couple free on-base appearances, struck out in the 4th. Far leading off at first, we see the third baseman Mitch Sisk playing very close and in, ready for any possible bunt situation. Middleton from the stretch. Here's delivery. Last appearance was against Delta State, of course, on March 18th, last weekend. He went 1 inning, gave up 2 hits, struck out 1. Didn't give up any runs. Yes, it was the game against Trevecca that he came in, warmed up, and was unable to complete the warm-up. And here's his delivery to Brocado, outside. Brocado loading up. Here's delivery. Outside, once again, 3 balls, 1 strike. Brocado, so far on this season, his senior year, has led the team in average at 386, as well as hits with 44. He's had 114 at-bats, 29 runs on those 44 hits, 8 doubles, 6 long balls, and 32 RBIs for the Bucks as he takes a free trip to first base. Faro goes to second. Brocado now at first on the walk. We're going to see Factow. Clay Factow in the first inning was hit by a pitch, stole a base, came around to score, hit a double, and was left stranded in the second. Of course, the triple in the fifth, and then he was actually thrown out at the plate in a fielder's choice situation. He's going to show bunt, pulls back for a called strike. Interesting decision there by Factow to pull back, especially when the pitch was right down the middle. The sun begins to dip below some of the trees here in Jackson. We see the shadows cast on the infield, of course, right behind the players as well. Could definitely be getting in the eyes of guys such as Davis and Chavies out there in center and right field. In fact, I was going to take a moment, look over to his third base coach, get his signs before he continues with his at-bat here. Running in, he's going to pull back. He does a little fake there, but he's going to get away from the catcher, Smith. And they decide not to go, so he did a bunt fake. Charging in quickly, there was Ross. Ready for it, but no need. Quick meeting here at the mound. All right, we're right back with you here. Ryan Middleton on the mound remaining. Brocado over at first. Faro at second. In fact, down now at the plate, Bulldogs trying to protect their 1-run lead here late in the game. Somewhere that they've slipped time and time again throughout the season as they've been close. They battled. It's a 1-run game, and that's going to be hit to Netterville. Netterville's going to take it, throw it over. Not going to get the play at second, but he is going to take the easy out at first. Unable to get the double play because of the bobble at shortstop. But at least the Bulldogs are able to get one out. Not exactly what they wanted, but Faro moves to third. Brocado moves to second with 2 in scoring position. This Factow is retired. Pizer, left-handed power hitter here for the Bucks. Singled in the first inning. Was left stranded at second. Struck out in the second inning. Walked, came around to score the tying run in the fifth as that's popped out towards center field. Running over now is Davis. He's underneath it. He tracks it. There's going to be a play at the plate. He's going to throw it home, and they decide to let it go through, and staying at third base is Faro. Changes his mind after a great catch and throw by Davis in center. Middleton just trying to keep everything in play here. Trying to minimize any walks and hit batters. They can trust their defense as they have done so well today. That'll be the key to continuing here. So Middleton now from the stretch looks over, checks his runners. Of course, Brocado over there. Second, Faro at third. Here's the delivery. He's going home with it. The hitter is McDaniel, the catcher. Flew out to shortstop and left field. First and second inning, didn't hit in the third or fourth, and then hit into a fielder's choice, which he reached on in the fifth inning. Fouls that one off, a little chip shot. Takes the bat and just slaps it a little bit. Foul. Bulldogs really needing this out right here. They continue to preserve the lead that they've worked so hard for. It's going to be upstairs. A lot of the softball girls now coming over to support the fellow men playing today. It's going to be hit. Great grab there by Netterville. He's going to throw it. Let's see if it's in time. It is bobbled by the first baseman, Grant Ross. One run's going to come home to score, and a devastating play there by Netterville, who laid everything out there for that one. He laid out in the grass, jumped up, threw a bullet across the diamond. Oh, exactly what you want him to do, and it just does not work out in time. And Ross bobbles it over there at first, and a tough break there by the Bulldogs. Devastating moment. Not only did Brocado score, but also Faro as well. They take the lead on that one. Really tough break here for the Bulldogs. But hopefully they can stay in it and do what they've been continuing to do all game long. Rebound every bottom of the inning. Middleton from the stretch. Takes it home. Brown, the hitter, is hit by a pitch, came around to score in the fifth inning, hitting .212 so far on the season in his 66 at-bats, 14 hits. And that one's going to get away from him. And McDaniel goes to second. Next pitch, not gonna get it. So Middleton's gonna look back, full count. He needs one more strike to get out of this jam here. He gets it. Strike three. Thinking he had the walk was Brown, and he has a trip to the dugout instead. Well, the Bucks reclaim their lead. We've had 3 lead changes now in the last 2 innings. We'll be right back with you in the bottom of the 6th. Bulldogs only down by 1. Let's see if they can do it again. Chavies, the heart of this lineup here for the Bulldogs. We got Chavies, Swanson, and Sisk up to bat in this inning against a new pitcher in Travis Cole. Now, we did see Travis come into the first game. He did not give up any runs. Now, the Bulldogs were able to get a couple of rallies going against him, nothing that provided any runs. So that's going to do it for Gibson. Gibson went 2 innings. Threw 40 pitches, the most of any Buck pitcher today. Gave up 4 hits, 4 runs, walked 2 in the 13 batters that he faced. Now Travis Cole will be taking over on the mound against Chavies. Travis Cole, of course, out of Tucson, Arizona. Senior, graduated from Saguaro High School, 185 pounds, 6'2", pitcher and infielder. You see him going from the stretch, even with no runners on here against Carson Chavies. Chavies, great eye on that one, takes that one up and out. So far this season, Cole has an 8.15 ERA, better than last year. We had an 8.33. Chavis gets a piece of that one. He's currently 0-5 this season. Bulldogs hoping to make that 0-6. Appeared in 9 games, started 7 of them, thrown 35 in a third innings, given up 54 hits this year, 34 runs, walked 7, and has struck out in a very impressive 41 opposing batters. Chavis in this game so far in the first inning, he got a single, was left stranded at third. Did the same thing in the fourth, single, was stranded. And then in the third, he walked and was caught stealing. It's going to be popped up in the infield, and Brown is going to take it to retire Chavis for the first time today. Grayson Swanson hasn't been able to do anything this game other than a very impressive sac fly. He did have a sac fly in the first inning. He was able to bring home Netterville for the first run of the game, and then he flew out to center and left field in the third and fourth innings. Takes the first one in there for a called strike. Swanson, of course, having the big double in the first game. I believe that actually might have been on Cole. Swanson's going to put that one right in the gap, running over a shortstop, not going to get it in time, and Swanson's going to have a single. And here we go again. The Bulldogs are starting to rally. They have done it inning after inning after inning. There has not been an inning that they have not scored. Mitch Sisk had a double, came around to score in the third inning. Of course, striking out in the first. And he popped out to the first baseman. Brocado had an incredible grab over by the first base dugout last inning. Sisk started the inning off and will find himself with one runner on, one out. As he hits that one right up the middle, it's going to be a weird bouncer into center field. He gets the help of Fesmeyer Clay today, and Sisk reaches there. It bounced off of like 3 things. Seemed like a pinball game out there, as it bounced not only off of the mound, it bounced off the rubber and the glove of the second baseman, Gentleman. Swanson comes over to third. Sisk now at first. We'll see how they credit that. It's got to be a single. We get to see Grant Ross. He's had the most impressive day of anybody today. Of course, has a pair of singles already in this game. Single in the second, came around to score. Single in the third, was left stranded. And in the fifth, of course, he reached on that error, made his way to third base, and came home to score as he swings right through that one. They are going to credit Sisk with the single on that because of the pinball game that we just watched play between Gentleman, the bag, and the mound. The Bulldogs have 2 on, 1 out, 1 in scoring position. Faro, the shortstop, playing closer than Gentleman to the bag. Brown playing tight to third as we see a pickoff attempt here by Cole. The Bulldogs look to strike again, trying to keep everything off of the ground, hoping to avoid another double play, something that they lost a rally on to earlier in the day. Ross swinging through that one. A lot of the fans staying here. They've watched a good game, had a lot of energy. Very thankful for their presence, of course, coming and going throughout the day. We get new fans, old fans move on to the next thing. And Ross can hit that right back to the pitcher. There's going to be one at second base. He's going to throw it over to first, and it is going to be an inning-ending double play. The rally is killed here in the 6th, but that doesn't mean anything for the 7th. Bulldogs down by 1. We'll see who their closer is. We'll be right back with you in the top of the 7th inning.
We realize you have a busy lifestyle, and at the Bank of Jackson, we're here to help you fulfill all of your financial needs, personal and business loans, mortgages, online banking and bill pay, and so much more. Serving the Jackson area for 25 years. The Bank of Jackson, your down-home community bank. You belong here. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Tate Gentleman, the second baseman, is going to come on to face Jack Rasmussen, the new pitcher for the Bulldogs. That's it for Middleton. He went an inning on 26 pitches, gave up 1 hit, 2 runs, and struck out 1 in the 6 batters that he faced. Jack Rasmussen, so far on the season, has a 7.20 ERA. He doesn't have a win or a loss, but has appeared in 9 games. Typically one of the guys they call in the bullpen. He's been relatively inconsistent this season. He does have 2 saves. He's pitched in 10 innings, given up 7 hits, 9 runs, 8 walks, and has struck out 14. And he starts off the at-bat against Gentlemen with 3 straight balls. It's a little bit on-off here for Jack this season. He had a great game against Auburn Montgomery where he went an inning, struck out 1, gave up no runs, and he drills Gentlemen in the back to start the top of the 7th inning. Well, that's tough. So, against Trevecca was really the difficult game. The Bulldogs were within 1 run, and Middleton got injured. Jack came in and ended up giving up 3 runs and walked 2, struck out 2, and then had a great game against Delta State. So it's kind of every other game here. It's been good, bad, good, bad, good, bad for Jack so far this season. Looking to him to close out this game. Great pitch there, trying to keep it low in the zone. Matthews, the designated hitter so far in this game, had a double in the 2nd inning, came around to score, grounded out in the 3rd, and then singled and was left stranded in the 5th inning. Jack trying to keep everything on the ground for Matthews. Matthews loves the left side. We see Sisk playing in case of a possible bunt or even a ground ball. Roll him up, double play. I called it on the last inning. Maybe we can call it again here. That would be awesome. He does show bunt. Sisk comes charging in. And it's not going to matter here. So Jack looks in. Here's the delivery, and it's going to hit him as well. Coach Casey's going to come out, and we may have a pitching change. He has a laundry list with him in his left hand. And I think we're going to see a couple of things change here as the Bulldogs try to stay in this game and not slip away just like they did against Trevecca. Yeah, I expect quite a few changes here. The game freezes. That might be it for Jack. And looks like Cottrell is going to get ready for something. Trell is running out to play something, and we'll be right back with you in a few moments. We're going to get all these substitutions and let you know what they are here in a couple brief moments. Here we go with our substitution. So Jack comes out of the game after only throwing 7 pitches. He beaned 2 guys, and we're going to see Britt Netterville, the shortstop, actually take control of the mound. We have Cottrell coming into the game to play left field. Swanson moves over to center. We got T. Parm coming into the game. Tanner Parmley there at shortstop. And Netterville, of course, on the mound. He's got a 13.50 ERA this season. He's appeared in 2 games. He's going to take the bunt attempt there by Fulks. He's thrown 2 innings, given up 4 runs on 5 hits this season, walked 3, struck out 3, and has faced 15 batters so far on the season. Coach Casey just looking to shake it up, bring in a position player to try to close out this game, keep the 1-run game that we've got going. Netterville's going to field it, not going to throw it to second. He's going to get the out over at first. That was their plan. Parmley did not cover the bag at shortstop. Very interesting to see Hardy go charging over to first. No attempt for a double play. So Fulks gets the job done. He moves over his runners. Gentleman is now at third. Matthews at second. Fulks gets the sac bunt for the first out of the inning. Charlie Faro will be our next hitter. He singled and came around to score in the 6th inning to tie the game. And here's a delivery. Swing and a miss. Netterville last year appeared in 1 game, actually. Pitched 1 inning, gave up 2 hits, walked 1, struck out 1. Just trying to trust his defense here. We see Parmley and Hardy really playing on the grass. Huge lead out there by Matthews. He's basically all the way to third base by now. That's going to be popped back over the first base side. Yeah, Matthews, the designated hitter, one of the 2 guys hit by a pitch earlier in this inning. They're not even giving a care about him, of course. Gentleman over that third. Just holding him close. That's going to be popped up and right back over the backstop. Reminder, this is essentially the 9th inning here. We only play 7 innings in the second game of a doubleheader. So the time is now. He's going to get away from him. Infield in, outfield back and right. It's going to be a pop-up and out. Run's going to try to come home. They're going to go for it at the plate, and they're going to say he's safe. I saw that one from here. I would have called him out. I'm not sure about that one. That one was really, really close there at the plate. It looked like Netterville had a great tag on him. That's what happens when you have a shortstop as your pitcher, is he knows how to field that, and he had a great spin move. Looked like he got him, but they're going to say that Gentleman actually swam around that one. Definitely a controversial call. We've seen a few of those in this game already. Umpiring crew has had their frustrations with both coaches already today. And tough break here for the Bulldogs. They still got a 1 runner on over there in Matthews. Full count. Here's a delivery. Popped up and back. Should have brought my glove to the park today. Might have gotten one. Looks like it's going to go back towards the softball field. Faro, the batter, still swings, gets barely a little nick of that one. Definitely a close one there. Bulldogs now down by 2. Still have an inning to recover. Great off-speed, rung him up, and a very embarrassing moment there for Faro. Totally got fooled by the great curveball of Netterville. Unbelievable pitch. Faro turned in, thought he was about to get hit in the back with it. Then he thought he walked, and actually he just struck out. So they're going to have a intentional walk of Brocado. Probably a very smart move after seeing the influence that he has made in this game offensively. He walked in the 2nd inning and scored, walked in the 6th inning and scored, was hit by a pitch in the 1st inning and came around to score. And they're going to intentionally walk him so that they can instead face the cleanup hitter, Factow. So Brocado was intentionally walked. Facto was hit by a pitch in the 1st inning, stole a base, and came around to score. Takes that one in there for a ball. doubled in the second inning. They're just trying to get out of this any way they can, minimize the damage. The Buck lineup. Facto hit that triple in the 5th inning. It is interesting to see them rather pitch to Facto instead of Brocado. Brocado not having a hit in this game, of course, just continuing to battle. Walked quite a few times. So interesting decision on who they would rather pitch to. Here's a delivery from Netterville. Right down the middle. It's going to be a chip shot. Alec Hardy's got it. He's going to throw it over to first. They escape, and the intentional walk works in their favor. Bulldogs still give up one on the really tough play at the plate, and they're going to have to score 2 to tie it here in the bottom of the 7th. We'll see if they can have a comeback, possibly walk it off. We'll be right back with you in the bottom of the 7th. Bulldogs down 11-9.
Looking for a Christian college or starting the college search process? I want to take a second to tell you about my school, Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Union is a private 4-year university known for its rigorous academics, Christ-centered community, and the success of its graduates. My favorite part about Union is the faculty. The professors here are so intentional about helping students grow not only academically, but also spiritually. You should check out Union for yourself. Come for a visit. I know you'll love it. At Union University, you'll be transformed.
Caden Cottrell will be the first of 3 batters here. We'll see if they stick with it. Currently in the lineup we have Cottrell, Davis, and Smith, but we'll see how that changes depending on different pitch hitters. They're going to trust Cole, and that's going to be shot up towards center field, running over his folks, and he's got it 1 pitch, 1 out as the Bulldogs come down to their final 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. It's going to be Tanner Parmalee with the pinch hit here. Parmalee comes on for Davis. That's how they shake things up. Of course, Davis was in center field. Parmalee just came in there at shortstop, so it looks like they eliminated possibly the DH role. And that's going to be a strike in there for T-Parm. Tanner Parmalee has had these big moments time and time again throughout the season. Lots of little 8th and 9th inning pinch hit opportunities. He's done pretty well in them. He's got quite a few hits and a late game clutch rallies that he needed to. Here's the delivery to him. In there for a strike 2. Parmalee out of Selmer, Tennessee, McNary Central High School. Played 4 years of baseball, and he could be the man of the hour right here. As he launches that one out towards right field. Running over is Pizer. He's going to run out of room, and it's going to be in the bullpen. Parmalee's going to get another chance to survive. This season so far, he is hitting .300. He actually got his first few hits this season. He started 6 games. He's really started to be one of the regular guys that we're starting to see. He has 4 RBIs, 6 hits, and 2 runs scored this season. Batting .300. Most of those have actually been, we've seen him come into 7 games now as a pinch hitter or a relief player in the field. It's really narrowed into his role there. He's going to take that one outside for ball 2. Good eye there at the plate by T-Parm. Cole in this game already is at 13 pitches, and that's going to be dropped out towards right field. Running over is going to be Pizer. He's got it. He hauls it in, and there is 1 out left in the game. Bulldogs trying to do everything they can to not let this one slip away, and we're going to see Blake Barrett be the final batter. Possibly. Hopefully not. It's the last thing we want right now. Hopefully we get to see quite a few more batters. Barrett was actually the one who ended the first game, so hoping to not do that again. He hit into that game-ending double play in the first of these 2 games this afternoon. Barrett's going to load up. Barrett spent a lot of time at the DH position and first base so far this season. He's going to take a big rip at that one. Launches that one right back towards us here in the booth. Big swing, good foul ball on it. Cole to Barrett, here's the play. Bulldogs in the first game found themselves with a couple runners on, a possibility of a walk-off situation. Of course, the game-ending double play was a brutal stab to the chest. Now, the Bulldogs have been back and forth all game so far today. Barrett's not going to take that one. The softball girls got a walk-off already this afternoon. Baseball guys hoping to do the same thing right now. Here's the pitch to Barrett. He's going to hit that one over the first base dugout. He stays alive, continues to battle, and takes the count full. Carefully selecting each and every pitch that he's going to face. Reminder to join us tomorrow at 2 o'clock right back here. You can find us on Worthy Road Studios on YouTube or uuathletics.com. And Barrett's going to send that one out towards center field. Dropping back is Folks. He's going to be underneath it on the run. And 3 fly balls ends the game. And the Christian Brothers Bucks sweep the doubleheader this afternoon. Well, here's our stat lines for the game. Christian Brothers had 11 runs on 8 hits. Always a tough thing to have more runs than hits. 2 errors, 8 left on base, 2 doubles, a triple, 10 RBIs, 6 walks, and they struck out 4 times. For the Bulldogs, they had 9 runs on 13 hits, 1 error, 6 left on base, 1 double, 1 triple, 9 RBIs, 3 walks, and struck out twice. Bulldogs, we saw Evans, Beckham, Orwig, Middleton, Rasmussen, and Netterville pitch. And for the Christian Brothers, we saw Sitton, Denman, Gibson, and Cole. So the Bulldogs fall in both games, both really close games. They lost by 2 apiece. And a tough afternoon for the Bulldogs. Lots of fans here. They had a great afternoon. Thank you to everybody who joined us. Thank you for our team at Worthy Road for helping us with the broadcast this afternoon. My name is Ethan Voss. We'll see you right back here tomorrow at 2 p.m. Go Bulldogs, and have a great rest of your evening.